What's up?
What's going on? It's Taka Perry. I'm a producer, songwriter, artist, music man, synth player, guitar man, whatever, anything music related I pretty much do. And we're here today in my studio in Sydney. Let's go. So growing up, I listened to a lot of different music. Like the first stuff I listened to was, I guess, Paul Simon and the Bee Gees, like old school, I guess, singer-songwriter stuff. And then I was a huge like Eminem fan. I loved rock and metal music. Kind of over high school, I was more of a metalhead. And I guess for me, like if music's good, it's good. So I'm pretty agnostic as far as genre goes. Who inspires me as a producer these last few years is like bands like the Avalanches and Fortet, Bonobo, Boards of Canada, Aphex Twin. Just like people that were boundary pushers and didn't really conform to what was already popular. They created their own thing and then that became popular. So my first memory of production, I was 10 years old, and for my Christmas present, my grandparents got me like one of those big Emacs. And I remember like bringing it home and opening up and just jumping on GarageBand. That was my first memory, and I was just taking like all the drum loops that it came with and putting it over like a guitar loop and like, oh, that sounds cool over each other. So I think that's kind of what sparked the fire for like making music, producing music. Through high school, I was playing mostly in rock bands and metal bands, and I started using production so I can record myself playing one instrument, playing another instrument over it, and just creating songs. I always wanted to create things. In this day and age, musicians are kind of expected to do a lot more than they used to do. So for me, I'm a producer at the heart, but I'm also songwriting and helping the artists with lyrics and melodies and sometimes singing myself. So I guess the more you can do yourself, like the more creatively you can be. Like for me, like say with my last single Diamonds, because I was producing it and I wrote it and sung it and played all the instruments, like every part of that song is like an undiluted representation of who I am and what I play. I'd say I'm about maybe 70% producer, 30% songwriter. So I feel most at home when I'm working on beats and playing the instruments, but I like to put myself not just in the production, but in the songwriting as well. When I'm doing my own project, you know, there are sounds and styles that I like to push a bit harder through the production and the songwriting. And then I guess when I'm working with other artists and producing their record, it's a bit of a different ball game, because I'm trying to balance bringing my ideas to the table with who they are as an artist and trying to bring out the best in them. With my sounds, it's taken me a while to figure out exactly what it is that makes my music, but I like to combine old school stuff like Pink Floyd, Genesis, even like the Avalanches and Jay Dilla and those kind of original music makers, and then combine that with like the awesome like future bass, like new wave stuff, and trying to mesh those together. So it's like the new and the nostalgia, so like nostalgia. I got the call to do like a version maybe 3 weeks before I had to go and actually perform it. So it was a quick turnaround. It was amazing walking into the Triple J room and, you know, being in the same space that I've seen, you know, Denzel do his thing and Billie do her thing, and to be in that same space, you feel like you're like in the presence of greatness. First I had to choose the song, and I was just kind of going through like songs that I grew up on that I really loved. And Jesus Walks was like the whole College Dropout album by Kanye I grew up on. So Jesus Walks just felt great. So I downloaded the acapella of the song just off YouTube or something and built most of the beat around Kanye's original vocals. And then after that, muted his vocals and went, okay, who can I bring in on this? And A.GIRL came to my mind straight away. I was like, she'll do something awesome on these verses. And then she came back with pretty much exactly what ended up being on the final Like a version, like really taking like, you know, a really relevant topic for the times and incorporating that into a classic song. And I feel like I feel like that's what resonated with people so much, is not only like the production and the performance, but the actual messaging and the lyrics in the song. I wanted to showcase the best of what's happening in different areas of Australia and the music scene, and bring together artists that I guess wouldn't necessarily collaborate with each other maybe, and just show people this is what we got here at home. I'm half Japanese, so I spent a lot of time in Japan growing up, so that's a big part of like my upbringing, both musically and just generally in life. Listened to a lot of Japanese music growing up, and I'm fluent in both languages, so I guess for me, like I have that kind of influence of the Eastern music market creeping into what I'm doing over here. For me, like a big part of my musical mission is to not only do stuff here in the Australian music scene, but in the Japanese music scene as well, and try to, I guess, bridge the gap. There's such a cool scene in Japan, and just because of the language barrier, we don't hear much of it here. So I want to use that to go there, work with artists there, and feature them on stuff here, and vice versa, and just get the best of both worlds. I think there's definitely like a movement of like producers stepping into the spotlight as creators, like even starting with people like Kenny Beats that are kind of pushing that whole producer as an artist movement. There's still a whole bunch of work that needs to be done in terms of making sure producers get the credit and the love. The rap beat, like a rap is built around the beat, so credit given where credit's due. Well, I just want to keep making sick music, both for myself and for other artists, travel as borders open up bit by bit, and work with artists overseas. Honestly, as long as I'm working on shit that I like, then I'm happy. Like nothing else really matters. It's not about the streams or what playlist you get. Like it's about the music at the end of the day.